Good morning to everybody.
Hi, good morning, and welcome to our club. It's Simon from Painting in France. It's live in lockdown 2. I don't know how things are where you are, but we are in France, and it is pretty much locked down, isn't it? We're allowed to go shopping. We can walk a little bit further now. A 20 kilometre radius for cycling, which is good. So the best thing to do is stay indoors and get painting. And normally, well, what we've been doing up until now is painting scenes from locations where we'll be going on next summer's painting holidays. But as it's nearly Christmas, we've decided to go a little bit more festive, and I've found this scene here. And after a huge global vote yesterday, the numbers are finally in. They've been checked by Donald Trump. He's given them the thumbs up, and it was 4-0 to this one. So we've done this one. So I've drawn it out now. Should we have a look at the picture?
I think you there was a leading question though, wasn't it? Because, well, you kind of rigged the election because because you told people that the bottom one was going to be easier, and I think everybody decided to...
Oh yeah, this was the choice. Sorry, Mel. We have this one. This is a very nice scene. It's nice to do at your leisure in an art class rather than trying to do it live. And then fortunately, the world has chosen this one here. So I'll be doing this one here. I've got it drawn out roughly there. And yes, I mean, the difference is this one, a little technical point, these trees would be a nightmare. A challenge. Sorry, the challenge is the word I'm looking for. Challenge, and so would be a perspective. So we'll do that one another time. Okay, right.
And we're already going, as you always say, global. We've got highs from the UK, highs from Australia.
Yes, around the world within minutes. This is what I like to see. So what I'm going to do, I did dampen the paper a little bit on the sort of sky area. I'm going to do the sky, and then I'm going to wash in pretty much all the shadows in one go. I think we'll be definitely going home early today. So the first thing, I've got to have a nice mix. Oh, did you see the Christmas jumper? I like the Christmas jumper. See? It's
more like a snowy jumper.
Well, it is. It could be going skiing with this.
But also, just to say to people, because we have a little bit more time, it's not going to be as much of a rush today. If people want to ask a few more questions along the line, we've probably got a little more time to answer them, haven't we?
Sure, yeah.
So as per usual, if you're not sure of something,
just... too complicated.
I'll be reading the...
Right. Okay, let's start. I have mixed up...
We've got the usual comments of Simon's a little faint. They can hear me, they can't hear you. So speak up, please, Simon.
Speak up. Testing 1, 2, 3. Is that better? I will speak more clearly and more loudly. I'll do my best. Everything's plugged in, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. I've mixed up a little cerulean blue and some cobalt blue. If you want to have a look at this, darling. I've got quite a nice amount there. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to...
Up a bit, love. You're going soft again.
Going soft again. I'm going to speak... I'm going to have a little microphone on me, I think. That's the best way to do it. Okay, I've mixed some cerulean blue with a little bit of cobalt blue, just to give it a little bit of warmth. I don't want it too frosty. And good idea to mix it up quite a lot. I'm just going to brush this on majestically across here. And
wet on dry?
It is actually. It was going to be wet on wet. What's quite good, if you've got a sky and a mountain scene, you don't really want your blue going over the snow. So I actually wet the paper yesterday. Did one wet the paper in the sky area, and then before it dries, you can then flood your colour on, and it goes miraculously just into the right spaces. I'm just going to add a little bit of water as we come down, just give it a little bit of gradation. No sweeping clouds today. What? I hear you cry. No, we're going to do a little bit of dabbing, I think. If you look at the picture, that's got that sort of roughly kind of shaped in. Let's try that. If you look at the picture, the winds are blowing across the top of the mountain there, and that's great. So I'm going to just, with a damp brush, just come back to the sky. Can I come back to the sky? Yeah. I'm just going to kind of rub that away there, quite roughly. There we are. It's just a damp brush, keep wiping it. and sort of random strokes. You just take it off the page there a little bit. In fact, I'm looking at the sky and it could have been a bit darker, so I may go back and put another wash on there. But this is like...
They look like clouds.
There we are, not bad, eh? I could get a job doing this. So there we are. That's just... you don't want to go... Just want to... Not your brush shouldn't be too damp. In fact, let's have a little dab as well. A little dab of tissue. Oh, that's not too bad. That will soften in. What you don't want is a volcano effect. Let's have a few more over here. That's not too bad, is it? And then, that's roughly got the sky in. I think the next would be to do the kind of, what you'll look at, actually let's look at this, a little technical pointer here. Mountains. You've really got, in this case, you've just got 3 tones. You've got the white of the snow, and you've got this kind of shadowy colour, this kind of mid-blue, and then the darker bluey grey for the rocky bits. So, I'm going to try and simplify it down to just that. Starting with this kind of shadow colour, letting that dry, and then putting the rocky bits in later on.
Is it quite a limited palette today?
That's very observant, darling. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's going to be just really cerulean blue, cobalt blue, possibly with a bit of, yes, you guessed it, Payne's grey. But don't complain too much. There will be no sap green in today's painting. Oh well. Okay, so.
Just a quick one. We've got, Sarah's asked, has Simon got his own mic? No, he hasn't. And I sometimes wonder whether we're actually reading through this mic, which is why people are hearing us.
Okay.
And it's not actually connecting properly. So, sorry if I'm just pressing everything in.
Forget it.
Because it's bizarre that the mic actually faces in Simon's direction, not mine. So you should be hearing him more strongly than me.
I will do my best to speak more clearly. Yes, every time. The thing is, working live, you can't really kind of put it all down and start experimenting. Yes, I know we should be doing that earlier. But what I'm going to do now is break this kind of, looking at my photograph and the painting, I'm going to wash in some shadows pretty well with the same colour. Just a touch of Payne's grey in that sky mix, I think. Mix up quite a lot, and then you can try it out again. That's not too bad, is it? Yeah. So what we've got here is, if you look at this, all this sort of area here is in shadow. So I'm going to just wash that. But be careful, because there's a few little white spots. I'm just going to kind of come across the edge of that. That's the edge of the hut, and that will help the snow stand out there, and that kind of does this kind of thing. And so you're painting in the kind of shadowy areas, but leaving some white to shine through as well. And a little bit of sideways brush movement, a la Bob Ross, there we are. More of him later. And I'm just leaving a few kind of white areas for snow. You can always add more shadow, but I'm just trying to kind of keep that, you know, kind of diagonal stripes going and that kind of rocky feel. There we are. So it's all still the same tone. I'm just leaving some white spaces to represent the snow. We've got some nice strong things there. Now's your...
Well, the way you're making it sound is like the other areas don't have snow. They do have snow, but it's the shadow as well, isn't it?
It is the shadow, you're right.
This is what you're painting, is the contrast is also that shadow rather than the areas that are sunnier, which then changes the colour.
That's correct.
Okay.
Well done, darling. What would I do without you? So now...
No, it's just
No, it's a good observation. No, it's right.
Elsa's just gone, no, not Bob.
He'll be in later, don't worry. So, yeah, what I've done, as you can see, it looks perhaps quite simple. Just a few big blocky areas, keeping that kind of big diagonal brush strokes to give that kind of drama. And I might put a few little ball bits in here and there. What's happening up here? Anything? There's a couple of little bits there. Like I said, you can go in more. What you do, you want to leave some white showing though, you see.
Yes.
Otherwise you'll be going, I should have left that white.
So I just look at the thing again? So kind of point out, so there are these darker areas and lighter areas where there's shadow and sun, isn't it?
Here's a sunny, snowy bits. And then here's this kind of colour here is your kind of shadowy, snowy bits. And then you've got the dark rocks, which will go in later on. So, but what's quite good, this is the key one here, look. See that shadow there makes that roof stand out. And now I'm going to put this in, take a deep breath and put this one in across here, maybe some of these little things in the background.
Okay.
Let's have a go. Yeah, so I'm going to put, there's a little bit of something going on in the background, still quite a big brush. I'm just going to keep a lot of white, and then we're going to be painting over this area again later anyway. A few sort of distant hills. There we are. That's good.
Henny, I think Henny is watching from the Super
Henny,
U. It's from the Super U parking.
The Super U, I like that. Doubling up, multitasking. Excellent. Now, actually, what I've done now. Oh, now I've done it. This is a good tip, which I've not done properly here, is to mix up enough colour, because it'll be a nightmare to try and match. So always have a little bit of paper on the side. Try that out. And here we go. So we've got those over there. We've got quite bold shadow. It's a case of stand there with your feet hip width apart, grab the brush, and we're going to sweep this one across here, look. And it's going to be a little, like the way we were doing the waves the other day, just kind of quite, you're leaving a few little spaces there too. I'm just going to put this in. You can't, once you've started, you're kind of committed. I'm just going to put that in across there. A few little narrow, short, fine point work as well. Look, just kind of keeping that in across there. A few little gaps. And before you know it, there's your lovely long shadow from whatever it is, the sort of low sun behind the pine trees going across the road a little bit here. Look, that's important, just to get that shape as well. See how it kind of drops down. Yeah, while I'm at it, I'll just put a bit of a big bold brush stroke across there, and it's quite handy when the brush is getting dry. You see it just sort of gives a nice kind of sparkly snow effect.
And you've also got that texture on the right hand side.
Well, yeah, with the rough paper, you see that'll pick that up quite nicely. So I'm going to put another little, that's going to be the trees down there, and then I think I'm just going to put a little something like that. Try not to keep, I did it myself, yeah, I put the shadow on too light yesterday, and I thought, oh no, I've got to paint it again. And that's never really works properly. So just be bold, mix up quite a strong colour which almost looks too strong, and just paint that in recklessly. So now the same kind of brush strokes, perhaps not quite so strong. There's a few kind of little dark areas on the roof. Look, I'm going to thin that down just a little bit, and then there's a little bit more. So we're just literally just painting where the shadows are.
So you're probably going to be leaving quite a lot of the areas of the paper untouched today.
Untouched. I'm going to do my best. Yes. Oh, that's not done. I'm just going to. So if you go on a bit strong, if you're very quick, you can just with a damp brush just wipe it back a little bit. There we go. That'll fade away quite nicely. I don't know if you noticed in the photo, if you've got the photograph in front of you, or at some point.
Yeah, can we just look at it? Yeah.
What there is, there's a bit of a gap here. So what's going to happen? Grandma is going to come out here. She's going to get some more logs. She's going to pick up her axe and chop one, and the whole lot is going to slide off there onto her head.
You think it's hilarious, don't you?
But I've given her a call and warned her about it, so don't worry. She's going to go and shake a stick at it and all slide off. But look, I mean, I lived in both Munich and Vienna, and they would, in the cities, you'd have these massive icicles hanging off the eaves of the houses, in busy high streets, and they would have the fire brigade come in and actually knock the icicles
I suppose
down.
some of those could kill someone.
Absolutely, yeah, some of them are like sort of 6 feet long.
It's like a sword, an ice sword.
An ice sword, yeah. Okay, what have we got? So it's slowly taking shape. I've got a bit of that kind of nice grey blue colour there in the snow. This is a sort of similar here. So see it's kind of darker and lighter, that kind of thing going on. I might just put a few more, let's have a little bit of something going on here. Another
welcome to a few more people that have joined us.
Great, hi, welcome, thanks for coming along. Welcome to the show. And we're just to recap, this is the scene we're painting, obviously, I hope. And I did a very rough drawing, and the key with the drawing is, start about here, because you want a little bit of sky above the mountain, and then you position these two little chalets, two little huts in the middle, and the rest will sort of fall in around it. I did some light guidelines to show where I was going to keep the shadows. So I did the weather forecasting, and then you're going to be it'll be raining here. A bit heavier snow's coming in from that side. I did some light kind of pencil drawings to roughly show me where the main shadow areas were, but you don't need everything. I mean, you could. In fact, in a previous life, I used to do a lot of oil painting, and here's a picture of me at work doing some oil paintings with mountains. It was a very successful series back in the 1970s. Since then I've had my hair cut a little bit, I trimmed the beard, but the technique is still there.
Did he actually look like that?
You look very similar. Thank you, Bob. Okay, right. Where are we now?
I think Elsa might just leave the room.
She's gone, yeah, the sound people. Anyone left watching? Right. Actually, what I will do now, I'll just quickly dry this because then we want to put some stronger shadows in the background. I've got my hairdryer a little bit closer this week. You get a chair?
I'm just having a sip of tea.
Tea. Okay.
Oh, that's quite hot. Louise's mum's watching again as well.
Oh, hi there. Welcome aboard.
Pauline, Ronald.
Great, yeah.
Well, her mum-in-law.
Mum-in-law, right. Okay, so we've got the sky in. We've got some. Actually, see, the sky could have been a bit richer. I might I'll leave it all to dry, and I might put another slightly richer sky in there over the top.
It's just looking a little sameish in comparison to the other shadows, aren't they?
It is, isn't it? But I'm going to now. Let's have a look.
Very limited colour palette.
Ooh, you're on a budget. We're on a budget this morning. I need one tube of paint. No. So now I've got I'm going to mix a little bit of some Payne's grey into the sky shadowy blue mix, and so we're going to be doing these, the rockier outcrops now.
So can I just show how much the colour it actually is changing?
Yeah. What I do recommend, and I should have done it myself, is keep a little bit of the sky colour separate, so you can go back and repair that. But now I've gone to the dark side with Payne's grey.
You're not doing very well, though, are
no,
you?
I'm under pressure. I need some more glue wine, some more mulled wine. Right, let's have a look. So a slightly smaller brush, and I'm kind of up here, you want this kind of thing. There we are, that's it. So I've got a nice sort of ridge there. And now I'm going to carry on doing my Bob Ross stuff, just a slightly dry brush coming across here, look. Leaving a few sort of areas there. You might want to go away and put the kettle on. This will take a few minutes. So it's the same colour, just looking where those rocks are. Keep going back to the reference picture. Or who knows, maybe you've got the chance of standing and painting something like this on plein air. That would be courageous.
Not a lot of ski holidays happening this year at this stage, though, are there?
Plenty of room for artists, and maybe some discount.
I don't even know if the resorts are actually open. I mean, there have been discussions about it, but I know they were talking about opening the ski resorts, but not the slopes.
Yeah, that would be kind of bizarre, wouldn't it?
So it would literally be the artists standing in the slope.
There's going to be a lot of people on chairlifts with easels strapped
No, the
on.
chairlifts are closed as well.
Okay, a lot of artists with snowshoes and dogs, huskies, going up the mountain to get this view. Which, I confess now, I thought it was a French Alpine Scene, but I thought I wanted to keep it all French.
Hey, you don't have to, don't confess too much.
It is actually very similar to a French Alpine Scene, not necessarily in France. Okay, but it's about painting snow and mountains. How are we doing? I want to keep that shadow there, look. And it gets a little bit dry. Actually, quite good if you dry your brush off now and again, and then you can just kind of give a few sort of. Oh, look at that, Bob!
Now we have a man who's joined us who might have seen a little bit of snow in his life.
Oh yeah, who's that?
Mr. Keith Campbell.
Keith Campbell
from Scotland.
Really? Well,
yes.
I hope he's out there in the snow, walking his dogs or something.
Oh, shame. Martina is saying that it keeps buffering today.
Oh dear.
It might just be on her side. I don't know. Is everybody else having the same problem?
We will speak more slowly and move more slowly. Hopefully, I think the world being locked down, are all sat watching Netflix in the village, and it's just the way things are at the moment. We do our best. Hopefully, you'll get the idea of what's happening. So we've got the white areas of snow, some blue shadow, and now I'm putting this kind of bluey grey mix in to represent the kind of rocky, rocky outcrops here and there. But like I said, you want to try and keep the that.
Other people seem to be fine. So unfortunately, it might be your side that's actually buffering. But it's frustrating.
We do our best. The show must go on. And like I said, this time I'll try and do a proper saving, so at least we can get some quality back in with the YouTube, because we put them on YouTube later on, and a little bit of music, edit the rubbish out.
Well, me?
So it's about 2 minutes long. But it means then you can play them back. Although you can watch it all on Facebook, can't you?
You can watch it on Facebook afterwards, yeah.
But of course, the YouTube channel, Painting in France, the quality is there. A little bit of panning, a little bit of music. I'll see if I can find some mounted music. That would work, wouldn't it? Right, where are we? Just kind of getting these.
You're getting distracted, Simon.
Getting distracted, yeah. Okay, I'm trying to just get a little hint of. Once again, I mean, you can come back. You can come back to this kind of effect. What you don't want too much of it. I'm just trying to get this. Let's take it down here a bit. So that. Thank you, Bob. This is the stuff. Bit of dry brush, and you've got the rocks coming in there. Keep that kind of slightly angular feel. I think it's not a soft scene, is it? It's not some trees waving gently in the wind. This is real McCoy.
So for people who you keep referencing Bob, now for me, I didn't grow up in England.
No, did I? Well, I did, but Bob
You
didn't.
did? No, where did Bob grow up?
Bob, I think he's American. Yeah, he's American.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he was.
I've never seen.
He's been back on British TV.
So
with the TV show.
He's what? Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're really interested, I'd imagine he'll have videos on YouTube as well.
They're not as good. They're not as good as these. Yeah, he's got thousands of videos. Yeah, I mean, and he has this sort of oil paints palette knife, just scrapes a few things on, and he's done it in 10 minutes. We love him and we hate him. Right, I am now going to look a little bit triangulated, so I'm just going to let's take that down there like that. And now what we've got here, look, so I'm slowly getting those pieces in, and then at the back here, finish brush again. This is a number 8 for the record. We've got a few things on distant hills. I'm just going to put a little bit of something like this on. Just if you look, there's just little crisscrosses with some trails and forests, but by just hinting at it, it just kind of
adds a bit of texture.
Hints at it, yeah. So I'm just down here. Oh, I missed the snow. I'd love to go there again. This is the same dark grey you've used in the shadow. Sorry, in the rocky bits. Now coming down to those kind of distant trees. Let's have a little something like that. It's quite a dark bit in here. There we go. So yeah, this is now getting there's obviously another little valley forestry area. This is going to be painted, but they'll paint the trees in.
So you're going to paint it. So okay.
So excuse me. Good. Let's just make sure that's obvious for when Grandma comes out. She's going to see that lot is about to slide off. So where are we? Yeah, you don't need much drawing, but if you can do some drawing, it's good to get it sort of quite cleanly so you can see where you're supposed to be painting. So I'm just sort of squinting at the edge of these little huts here. It's all about this kind of spaces like that and there. If you look, there's a little gap between the huts and you can just kind of see it, and there's the distant hills and you've got the kind of trees coming up there now. A bit of a cast shadow. Oh, I forgot that shadow. And we've got some of these stronger ones. So that's good. So now I'm going to paint these trees in, so even darker. And people say, so how are you going to paint the snow side? I have a feeling that the zinc white gouache will be seeing some action before long. But
no.
All right, well, I'm going to. I'll try. Here we are. Okay, this is got a nice sharp edge there. See, nice sharp edge. That just makes it very snowy. I love the way the snow just kind of carpets everything, isn't it? It's lovely when if you're in the area, in a snowy region, and it just comes down overnight, and suddenly you wake up, and there it is. I'm kind of.
Did you used to spend quite a lot of time in the mountains when you were living in Austria and Germany?
With regular visits, yeah. You know, it was all part of it. You know, there was. I can remember the first weekend I was there in Munich, age 19, and the guys just bundled me into the back of a car, raced down to the Alps, Bavarian Alps, and he just like, wow, he just stand out the clear blue sky, snow, and sort of mulled wine. It's quite stunning. It really is a lovely way to spend a winter.
So you've added even more Payne's grey to your dark colour.
What I often do, this is now added more Payne's grey, still to the kind of bluey mix, the original mix, so now I've completely lost any sky mix I've got. And what I often do, I'll just put a few little, very quick sort of verticals in like this. Let's have a few more over here, look. And almost going to build my tree out from there. And I'm kind of leaving a few little, as you can see, it's not just solid dark grey. I'm leaving a few bits, so we're kind of hinting that there's some snow there.
And you again just flicking for left and right on it.
Yeah, just flicking from left to right.
Casually.
Casually. See how casual that is? I'm just flicking from left to right. But it just gives a little bit of structure. I've tried not to go beyond that point. I'll just, there we are, repair that. But by having a kind of some verticals in it, just like I said, it gives the little forest a bit of structure.
It gives you something to follow, I suppose, as well.
Something to follow, yeah, and especially from this angle. Otherwise, your trees are all going to be doing this kind of thing. And then you have a few small ones down here. Look, just to give a little bit of the hint of distance. Oh yes, taking shape.
We've got a busy morning this morning.
Busy morning.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people joining us.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Season's greetings. I think everyone started a little bit early this year, and why not? Why not? We've got a tree up, and like you said, we've pushed the budget out. We've got some Christmas lights around the easel. I've got a feeling they might stay here for a few weeks.
No, they're my Christmas lights. Oh. You can't nick them.
They're going to be going back downstairs very shortly. How long have we got before you want them back? Okay.
You've got till 10:30.
Okay, here we go. Right.
11:30.
So that's kind of got that in there quite nice. It's hinted some little trees in the distance, and then through here, so you've got what works well. You see, I think they call it negative painting. There's a little bit of stuff going in. There's a little bit of a by having this kind of dark things behind the light things, it just help the light area stand out. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Put a few more trees in here. Look.
Just to kind of, but there are those dark areas behind there in any case.
What's nice is rather than having it solid across there, if you can leave a little bit of light area there, just to kind of take the eye down into that valley. Oh, there's a little, while I'm here, I'll just do this. There's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of a upright. See, the grandson's obviously had that fitted, that extra pillar, because last year his grandmother got buried 15 times. Okay, that's good. Got those. Let's go over here.
It's a good thing you like your jokes, darling.
They're a captive audience. They've got to listen to my drivel. Okay, so once again, I've got a nice sort of sharp edge down here. Actually, if you notice, a slight difference from the photograph, I've kind of curved the road slightly to take your eye back into the picture rather than just off it. The idea is to have it slightly curved to kind of come back in. But now we've got a few, let's have a look, there's a few bigger ones here. Let's have a little bit of...
A bit of artistic discretion.
Artistic discretion.
And composition.
I'm going to put a few more trees in here. But see, it's just gone over the ridge there, which just helps to make the trees definitely stand out in front, and also it helps reseed the background. So that's all good.
So again, I mean, in that photograph, the tree actually is slightly higher than the skyline, but would you advise people, even if it wasn't, to do that?
Exactly, yes. It just helps. See, that ridge is already kind of disappearing back into the...
Yeah, it's amazing how the distance starts building.
Yeah.
That sort of sense of perspective.
Yeah, so as I'm coming forward, you can see the usual thing. The colours are getting more intense, stronger. And like I said, still doing this kind of slightly wobbly brush strokes And let's have a few more down here. So if you have a few smaller ones down here, it then looks, you know, just gives the hint of perhaps the path goes over the top of there, down into the next valley. That's okay, yeah.
Yes.
Maybe I'll just have a little bit more. Goes there. We might get away with not adding any white, but
It's your challenge today, Simon Roberts.
it's my challenge. Well, I can easily just walk away. Let's do that. So that's now standing out quite nicely. That's got that. Let's have a little bit of that.
Don't you need to dry something?
Probably yes. Why do you need to?
I need a sip of tea.
See, okay. Can you keep your eye on the scene? Right, I'm going to dry this off. Anybody got any snow where they are? How about Scotland? Any snow in Scotland? I heard it was pretty bad. Nothing planned here. Further north is snow here, I think, isn't it?
It was, yeah. And we saw snow on the Pyrenees the other day when we were walking.
So while that's drying, yeah, so just to recap, this is on the Live in Lockdown so far, we've done this painting here, so you will find the video on YouTube, our YouTube channel, Painting in France. Is there a button in the corner where they can skip the ads? So this was this one, yeah, the Ochre scene, already looking at a little autumnal on the river. And then we went completely the other way down to the Mediterranean, and we painted this lovely beach scene in Mez on the lagoon, which is a lovely place, isn't it? Which we hope to be next summer as well. Meanwhile, back in the Alps. So, where are we? What I'll do now, let that kind of dry. I've got now a burnt umber.
Heavy frost in Hampshire.
Frost in Hampshire. Ah, yes. Well, I'd rather have frost than rain. I don't know if, I think rain is probably on its way. I have got some burnt umber, just simply straight out of the tube, burnt umber, like a really kind of dark, woody brown. And guess what? We're going to paint the wood. So I'm just going to give this quite a...
That's about the only colour that we're using today.
It is, yeah, there's
brown.
brown.
Does brown count as a colour?
Well, I should think so, yeah. I'm just literally going to kind of wash this. We're going to put some stronger shadows in there afterwards, but at this stage you can literally just paint that on like that.
Foggy in Essex. Ooh, fog, never good.
Oh, we don't like fog. Anywhere else around the world, I should imagine that some parts of the world are enjoying
Well, I'd imagine
start
that
of
it's.
summer.
I'd imagine it's sunny in Australia.
Yeah, I bet.
They're probably sitting there thinking, "Oh my gosh, I don't know."
What are we doing painting snow? I'm in my swimming costume. Okay, so yeah, once again, it's nice, big, bold strokes, and keep looking at the drawing because you want to get that. Use that kind of strong colour just to really push the snow out. So I'm just literally going to go like that, and then down here. Yeah, that can all be quite rough, but keep a nice sharp line here, just to suggest that's where.
Oh, they've had snow in the mountains in Madeira.
Snow in Madeira.
Yeah.
Wow. What height they are? Was that rare?
So local jolly is to put a snowman. I'm trying to see the rest of the comment. Sorry, my phone screen is not quite doing what it's meant to do. Okay, so that's an interesting one. So they've had snow in the mountains in Madeira, and a local jolly is to build a snowman on your car bonnet and get down to the coast with it intact on your car bonnet.
I like it. And you can't use cooler bands, actually. Oops. Okay, that's got that on nicely. We're not too far away now, to be honest. I'm going to quickly dry that off again.
Another little bit of tea.
You have another cup of tea.
Goldilocks weather in South Australia, but warming up to 35 degrees over the weekend.
Ah, right. So it's almost too hot. That's what they're saying. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to take some Payne's grey, mix it with the burnt umber, so we've got this lovely dark brown shadow, and literally it's a sunny day, which is perfect because it means there's strong shadow, and I'm just literally going to put pretty strong slabs of colour, just a little thin one there, look.
I think that's where my fear always comes in,
What's that?
is putting these dark shadows in and creating that real contrast. You know, once you've gone this far,
Yes.
you're so scared that you're just going to
I am actually.
ruin it all at the last minute.
I think this is a bit dark.
Okay.
But I'm going to put a bit more brown in it. But it will lighten off. For those people who are sobbing into their paint brushes, or at some point either live or in the future when you're doing this, it will lighten up. And you can always just give that other brown a little bit of wash. But it should be good. That's probably a little bit strong because there's actually some reflected light in there. Look. If you look under the eaves, that's just.
Okay, so you're just lightening that off a little.
I've painted my shadow in there, and actually it's a little bit lighter in there, so I'm just wiping it off a bit. Keep going back with a clean brush. That'll do. Back to the other stuff. But this is great. I mean, this is just really instant sunny day effect. So nice strong angles across there. Look, we'll put the doors and stuff in a bit later. That's across there. There we go. That's not far off.
It's amazing.
Oh, thank you, darling. $5 in the post. It's on its way. And while I've got that dark colour mixed up, I won't bother. You could put another wash, let that all dry, and put another wash on the woodwork. It's quite a strong contrast, but I'm going to just put. Let's have a look. I'm just going to put a few little
Details.
few little details. These huts are often, quite sort of quite a mix of planks of wood and so on. There's quite a few little shapes going on in this one here. Look.
I must admit, I wouldn't mind holing up at Christmas in a little place
Yeah.
like this, wouldn't it?
That's why we chose this one to do today, yeah. And if we weren't going on to YouTube, I'd have had some Christmas music playing as well.
But when we started looking on Airbnb, we realised the reality, unless you're a millionaire, is the fact that you land up in a sort of slightly
Yeah.
small IKEA
Yeah.
furnished apartment with
they
possibly a
kind of,
view of the snow, if you're lucky.
I guess they're thinking you're going to be out on the ski slopes or down the restaurants, which are all closed. So you want very little time in. Why should you have a nice cosy apartment with a log fire? Because you're going to be out most of the time. But so we're going to stay here. We've got a cosy fire, Christmas tree. What's not to like? How are we doing? I'm just going to put a little bit of dark brown in there. Oh yeah.
You did say also you'd missed off a shadow.
I missed off a shadow.
Yes.
Oh yes,
There.
right, yes, I can put that in. So that's not far off actually. I'm going to just.
It looks good. It looks better than your practice run.
Oh, good. That's a
No,
first.
but I mean, don't
Yeah,
you
that's
think
a
that's
first, yeah.
exactly
That's a first.
the
yeah.
reason why so often
Yeah,
practice runs are a good thing
Yeah.
as well?
You're right. No, I'll show that up. I'm just going to try and mix a little bit more shadow colour. There's a nice little shadow. I mean, it's so simple. I love painting wintry scenes. I used to do it a lot in Austria, because of course all their advertising over Christmas, there's got to be snow, there's got to be sleighs, there's got to be mountains covered in snow, all that kind of thing. So you spent a lot of time painting snowy scenes for supermarkets and advertising agencies. But it's lovely.
Well, there's that one that you've painted so many times of myself and Millie when we had snow in Puzel,
There we are.
which is not an everyday
In
event.
fact, we have one here.
It doesn't happen very
I
often.
don't know if you can find that.
We've actually sold the original
We've sold
of that.
the original,
haven't we?
yes. That went for 45,000 euros, I think, in the end, to somebody in Dubai, which is amazing. Yeah, so this is the paint. One colour, ladies and gentlemen, a Payne's grey. Give it hands up for Payne's grey. A very pale sky, distant hills. It was like a sort of it had snowed, and it was just like that amazing overcast, wasn't it? And then here's Millie and Monica.
We had a lot of snow that
We
day.
did, yeah. Lovely time. Really good.
We've had
Very
snow,
nice.
in the 10 years we've lived here, we've had snow twice. Where
Yeah.
it's kind of properly settled and been on the ground for a day or so.
A day, yeah. Does
A day.
Just a day, I think that's what counts. Well, what I am going to do, you see, actually now you can see those have actually paled away quite significantly. I would perhaps have gone in.
No, I like them.
You like them?
Yes.
So would you add some? You see, I think that no.
You can add a bit
we'll
of.
leave that one for you. I'm going to put a bit more, literally straight out of the tube.
So that's almost solid Payne's grey.
It's almost solid Payne's grey now. Maybe just this one here. Look.
Okay.
That's just. We can still leave a little bit of. In the same way we've done the 3 tones on the
There.
mountains, you can do the same with the trees. You see.
You were right. You can do it to the rest.
Oh, okay. All right. Just there we go. I'll leave those because that's it'll be a little bit mistier down there. Look, maybe down there that could be a bit misty. Couldn't it?
So again, it helps build this sense of distance, and
Yeah,
it's amazing, isn't it? His perspective is so much more than just drawing lines going towards a vanishing point.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, no, it is very much about what they call the aerial perspective. So things further away are going to be, even if they're a bright colour, I don't know, house or something in the distance, it's going to be pale in comparison to the same coloured house right up here in the foreground.
Yeah.
So there we are. And I'll leave those ones in the background. I mean, I'm dying to put a stronger. Now that's the trouble. You see, I thought I was going to be courageous with this shadow, but now I'm comparing the two, and that could really do with a stronger wash over, which I may do later on. I was going to put some white in. Do you think I can put some white in or not?
I don't think you need to, but you can't help yourself.
I'm going to let me just dry it off. We're nearly done. I'm going to just dry that off. You know, in many ways, the trees could possibly be very dark green. You know,
Yeah.
I've kind of gone in Payne's grey. It's a little bit of an easy way out, but it maintains the flow, the colour, theme of the picture.
No, but often, I mean, it's funny how snowy scenes, I'm always very aware of it because we don't see snow often. Whenever we do, the first thing that always hits me is the silence.
Keep talking.
And the second thing is the fact that the world becomes incredibly monochrome.
That's it.
You know, it's...
That's true, yeah. Well, I've got a little bit of... I'm going to just give you an idea of what I would do, or what's a possibility. I'm going to just mix up some literally pretty thick white. I'm not going to put any white anywhere else, I don't think. And to be honest, unusually these trees haven't got much snow on them. It's probably why I chose the picture. But you know, you can just imagine on the tops of the branches here and there, just kind of not too regular, just sort of. I mean, yeah, when it's freshly snowed, these things are just white, aren't they? With
You're right again.
Am I? Oh well, I'm scoring well today, am I? Let's have a little bit of white in there. Yeah, you can put a few. Let's have some icicles. Oh, he's getting carried away now. Yeah, that's one's for Grandma. Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have fresh snowfall the night before.
Maybe this is it, yeah. But I mean, look at the amount of snow on that roof. That's incredible. But okay, so I'm just putting a little bit of. And what we can do.
Felder's arrived. She says, I'm a bit late.
Oh, we have to start again. Oh no.
Too many Christmas parties.
She was worried about the Bob Ross thing.
They're partying on down in Australia, obviously.
This is it. What you can do, while I've got a little bit of white in, I'm just going to flick. Look at that. Flick some white through there. And it just sort of breaks up that shadow and just hints.
Just go in.
Like a little hint of a kind of frosty track. And maybe even here, look. On the photograph, if you look in, camera person, there's a kind of, obviously someone's, grandma skied over there with a shop in. She's obviously missed the house because she's gone off the edge. But what you can do is just perhaps, let's have some ski tracks just going to go in towards the house, look. Just sort of like that.
Okay, so you're actually in this particular case again leading the eye back into the painting rather than sending them off down the valley.
Exactly, yeah. If Grandma had been paying attention, she would have got straight to the front door instead of going off there. But you can just, with a little bit of that, maybe even, shall I? Yes, go on. You see what the white through the dark, and then you have a few little, oh, that's a bit strong. Just, you have some little shadows as well. These are slightly ragged ski tracks, I must admit.
Maybe they'd had too many Christmas parties too.
They were on the way back from the Christmas party, yeah. That was the trouble, otherwise Grandma would have made it. But, you know, I think, yeah, you can start putting little bits of white in there, but I'm going to stop there. What do you think? Stop there?
Well, I'll focus on you for a second.
Rest on me for a second.
And
then, that's much more
then
attractive.
On the masterpiece
I can
of
see
the
that
day.
from here. Yeah. So there we go. That was a very quick demonstration, but for those people who've never painted snow before, it can be quite simple. If you leave the white areas, that's to break. Yes, you can go in there. You could put a wash of blue over there and everything. Perhaps a slightly stronger shadow here in the foreground would be quite nice. But for me, I think that's a quick capture of the scene. Do you think, darling? What do you think?
I think it's worked.
It's worked. Excellent. Okay.
Our
good.
Christmas card.
Yeah, could be our Christmas card. You're right. We haven't done one yet. Okay, well I'll stop there. I know Val's just arrived, but hard luck. You'll have to rewind the whole video and watch it again. So that was this week's painting. In fact, we're going to do another one next week as well. Running up to Christmas. We are. Yes, we're going to do them every week. Let's keep it festive.
And when do I fit my work in?
We'll have a show of hands. Maybe Robin on a wine glass or a champagne glass next week. No, or a holly bush. No, I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know during the week. In the meantime, thanks for watching this, and please share it and all that, like it and all that kind of thing. And as I said, later in the week, the Smooth Hollywood version will be available with all the other videos and tutorials on YouTube. So on that note,
it's a goodbye from Simon.
Rest me a bowl of wine.
And
cheers and season's greetings, and we'll see you again soon.
And it's a goodbye from me. Cheerio, guys. Thank you.